Salute. It's the Straight Report, and we live worldwide. You're tapped and tuned into the Straight Report. It's a weekly worldwide uncensored commentary on vital topics and epic truths that have been manipulated, diluted, and basically systematically restricted and hidden from mainstream media until right freaking now. I am excited tonight. The show tonight, we could call it Division by Design. There is a great division that has been purposely wedged into society, and it's so systematically woven into our everyday life that we have not really paid attention until some things that have been recently happening, not just in the Metro Jackson, Mississippi area, but worldwide. I want to introduce you tonight to behind the scenes of the great game. The great game. There's a great game that goes on throughout society that we have yet to really put our finger on it. But I once heard a good friend say, there's a big difference in what's happening and what's really going on. And tonight, we're going to get down to the get down and find out what's really going on. Now, in this game, you are either playing the game, you are either watching the game, or you are either pawns in the game, or you are winning in the game. And last but not least, somebody has to lose in the game. I'm going to say that again. You're either playing along with the game, you're either watching the game as a spectator, you're either a pawn, someone that is being used for others' entertainment and benefit. So you're either a pawn in the game, like a pawn in chess, or you either winning in the game. And last but not least, there are those who lose in the game. I have some notes tonight that I want to tap into a very current event that's happening here in Jackson, Mississippi. And it is this state representative move, this great chess move of the state representatives to pass this House Bill 1020. Now, this creates a special judges for the capital city area here in Jackson, Mississippi, which is near the downtown area. And now it is headed to the Senate. So it has passed one level, and now it has one more stop. You know, back in the day, I grew up to these Saturday morning cartoons, and you had one that was called Bill, and he was like, I'm just a Bill. Yeah, I'm only a Bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. And he talks about how he'll go and he'll wait in a line for a lot of other bills for the president to sign. Well, I'm telling you right now, that bill is underway. Now, some people are heated about it, and some people are really, really discouraged about it, while some people are somewhat rubbing their hands together like the madman in the lab because they know that they have one up on society. Now, if you want to call in, if you want to leave questions and comments at CWU-TV on YouTube or CWU Network on Facebook and CW-TV on Rumble, or how about one better? We have a phone number that you can now call in. That phone number is 601-397-6752. Again, 601-397-6752. Call in and join in with this courageous conversation as we now dive into why this bill has so many people up in an uproar. Now, when it comes to the total vote count, I want you to understand that 76 lawmakers voted in favor of this bill, while only 38 voted against it. I'm going to say that again. 76 lawmakers voted for this quote-unquote surprise, this is what we're doing, surprise, we about to get one in on you. But 76 lawmakers voted in favor, while 38 voted against it. Now, this bill heads to the Senate for lawmakers in that chamber to vote on. Now, here's the issue. This was pulled from an ABC article online. Here's the issue. Lawmakers from majority white districts are proposing legislation that would significantly impact the majority black population of Jackson, Mississippi. Time out, hold up, wait a minute. Let me put some blurred lines in it. I am not a proponent for black or white, though I'm about as black as they come. But I do believe that there are some things set in place that are designed to keep the black and the white at odds against one another. And that's what we're getting ready to dive into. All right? I want you to understand that the mandate for our 501c3 is one family stronger together. But we must look at the issue. I can't be a mechanic working on a car or a AC guy that comes to look at your AC, and because I don't like the red wire or I don't like the black wire, I can't say, well, this wire doesn't exist, or I can't say that wire doesn't, I can't say that color. You know, I see grown men on social media who are either in a gang, either in Bloods and Crips, and they won't write the B or they won't write the C, and they still writing Z's and all that stuff for the and to me, it's just really, something that needs to have a mindset change. So as we look at this, I want you to truly understand that it is the game. We're pulling back the curtain, just like Dorothy did with Toto in The Wizard of Oz, and discovered that the wizard was just a man behind a curtain pulling the strings. Okay? You tapped and tuned into the Straight Report. Remember, you can call in at 601-397-6752. Now, in this excerpt, it's talking about how that it significantly impacts the majority black population of Jackson without consulting the representatives of the black population of Jackson. Now, to me, that sounds like part of the problem right there. Sounds like to me, somebody will sleep on their watch. And if this ruffles some feathers, just fly out, exercise your wings, and come on back and do better next time. Because they're saying that these people then consult with the representatives for the black population. This is a direct threat to the freedom of the capital city in parallel to the Jim Crow, watch this, era political schemes. Citizens should be able to hold judges and prosecutors accountable, I agree, for their actions. But HB 1020 does not allow that right. It creates a new judicial district filled with judges and prosecutors who are appointed by the Chief Justice of the Mississippi Supreme Court. ACLU of Mississippi Executive Director Jarvis Dorch is the author of that. Another article from ABC said that the controversial bill that it will form a court system and unselected judges and prosecutors to preside over the part majority black city of Jackson. This is where people saying that black residents make up 82% of the city's population, according to the U.S. Census, and now some white people have appointed themselves over a black area. Now, before we go to break, I want you to understand something. And I'm gonna, when we come back in the next segment, I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna go into disruptor mode. I'm gonna share with you a very checkered past that I myself have living while black in Jackson, Mississippi, being born in Madison, Mississippi, being raised in Jackson, Mississippi, and attending Jackson State University. I'm gonna share with you the very checkered past, and I do mean checkered like black and white, past that I myself personally experienced. And you would say, well, why are you still a proponent and say that there's no color? And I will share that with you after we come back from the break. If you'd like to call in, the phone number is 601-397-6752. You can leave questions and comments at CWU-TV on YouTube, Cwu-TV Network on Facebook, and Cwu-TV on Rumble. You're tapped and tuned in to the Straight Report. which is a weekly worldwide uncensored commentary on vital topics and epic truths that have been manipulated, diluted, and systematically restricted from mainstream media until right now. And I, your host, Bennie Foster, I can share with you that I've traveled the world and I've recently come back to Jackson, Mississippi. And I'm going to share some of the very personal obstacles, some of the very personal challenges, some of the very personal disappointments that I've had since I've been back to my city. Now, I'm going to talk about me literally suffering from racial discrimination. Our first break is in just a few seconds. I want you to tap and tune in. I want you to put on your seatbelt because it's about to be a very mental, bumpy ride. You tapped and tuned in to the Straight Report.
The JMMF's Culinary Kitchen, in partnership with Footprint Farms, the Farmers Hands Markets, and funded in part by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, sponsored by Humanity. I am Chef Shishi, the owner of Just in Time, the featured chef of the JMMF Culinary Kitchen, where healthier, all-natural foods in the urban community. Our menu includes salads, collards, kale, and spring mix varieties, fresh vegetarian soups, and fresh juice elixirs made daily. We're open Tuesday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. And remember, what you put in your body is just as important as what you put in your body. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Salute. Welcome back to the Straight Report. You can leave your questions and comments at CW-TV on YouTube or Cwu-Tv Network on Facebook and Cwu-TV on Rumble. If you'd like to call in tonight, the phone number is 601-397-6752. I'd like to share how a little country boy like me, where the story is told that my mother was actually out fishing when she went into labor with me on the Ross Barnett Reservoir. And some people wonder why I love to fish so much. But when you're born into this world, you're born young and dumb. And so I didn't see color at all growing up through being born in Madison, Mississippi, and then eventually being raised in Jackson. It really was a shock to me when I experienced a couple of three things that I would like to share. There's a young man that was my classmate as I was born at St. Dominic Hospital, but I lived in Madison, Mississippi until my 8th grade year. I attended I attended school in Madison, and then I attended middle school in Jackson, so I graduated middle school twice. When I was at my first middle school in Madison, Mississippi, Rosa Scott, I went to school with a young man named Trey Gore. He was a white kid. He's real cool. Trey was left-handed, had a left-hand jumper like nobody. Could shoot that thing falling out of bounds. And we used to play ball, and we were real cool. So one day, Trey and I were out on the playground, and any of you ever remember the swings, when the swings have a chain that has come down and the swing is just hanging with one chain? So we decided to unhook the chain, Trey and I, and we decided to jump over the chain while one of us turned around in a circle repeatedly. We turned around in a circle repeatedly, and the person would jump the chain. Now, any of you that understand physics know that that chain was somewhat delayed because it was heavy. And you're talking about a little kid in 3rd, 4th grade swinging this chain around while another kid jumped it. So Trey swung it around a few times, I jumped it. I swung it around a few times, Trey jumped it. It's my turn again, I jumped it. And then all of a sudden, Trey missed his timing, and that chain literally smashed the side of his ankle. Now, if I could say to you that I thought I had destroyed this boy's foot, because when he pulled down his sock, you can see how black and blue and the swelling was already happening, and he was in agonizing pain. He was grimacing. He was in so much pain. And I was like, I'm sorry, Trey, I'm sorry. All of a sudden, here comes this teacher. Here comes this white teacher. And she's pointing her finger, and she's yelling, and she's saying, I saw you. I saw you swing that chain and try to hit him. I saw you hit him with that chain on purpose. This is a kid. Now, we're kids. And I'm looking at this teacher like, no, I didn't. We were trying to play. Trey was hurting so bad, he was just in pain. He was like rolling around on the ground. So they're checking on him. They send me to the office. I'm in the office, the teacher's in the office, and she's letting me have it. I've been having problems with him, and he got to go. I saw him pick up this chain and swing it at Trey, and Trey tried to jump out the way. And then, then it was at that moment that I discovered racism. My family, my mom, some of the other black teachers, some of the other black students kept saying, that white lady lying on you, that white lady. And before then, I knew how to describe a person as black or white, but I didn't know how to describe them with anger. I had never seen people angrily discuss what a white person versus a black person had done. So that really bothered me. But as Trey was being taken to the nurse and eventually, taken to the hospital and all that, he stopped by the office and he told them, we were playing. He stopped and he said, we were playing. And the principal said, are you sure? Don't try to cover for him, because this woman, and I don't even want to call her a white woman anymore, but this woman was so vehemently looking at me like I was a criminal and had tried to hurt one of my best friends at that time. Let's fast forward to me being in Jackson, but coming back to Madison at Madison Ridgeland High School, right? And we're literally at a football game. Me and my friends are hanging out. We not watching the game. We probably somewhere we shouldn't be, under the bleachers. And we look up because we feel water. And we looked up and it was a group of white guys spitting down on us. And we looked up and we asked them, are you guys spitting on us? And one of them used the word that I would not use on this show, and it infuriated everyone around me. It made me mad that they were spitting on me. Again, I'm being very honest and sincere when I tell you I had no racial divide in my heart. And these are things that happened directly to me. The spit hit me too. But yet, my comrades, my friends, they began to say, get them white boys, get them white boys, them white boys. And we was chasing them, and the police security had to separate us and tell us if we didn't calm down, we couldn't come to another game. But I can remember the anger. I can remember being at JSU and seeing a young lady, a black young lady, walking with a white young man. And I can remember someone getting out of their car and throwing a soda can, a full soda can. I mean, you could see the soda racing out at them and say, get on away from here with that mixed relationship stuff. They said a bunch of expletives. And the anger in this person's face, it was seared in my mind. And he was mad because a young black lady was walking with a young white man. The other stories we can tell are Rodney King. But what is Rodney King in the LA incident being beaten by the white police officer? How does that compare to Tyree Nichols in the most recent Memphis incident being beat by black Memphis police officers. Along the years of my life, I've literally learned, as they say, to chew on the meat and spit out the bones. And I'm going to tell you, Jackson, Mississippi, in every city that is watching this show or that will hear these words, you're going to have to stop allowing them to use color as a pawn in this game. Anytime we introduce black, white, we are missing the mark. We are missing the true. When my friend said it's a big difference in what's happening and what's really going on, that rocked me. Because I'm going to say to you, Jackson, Mississippi, concerning this bill, concerning this HB 1020, there's a big difference in what's happening than what's really going on. It is division by design. Understand that if people have figured out a way to get wealth off of the blood, sweat, and tears of others that stay distracted by things like colors, streets, gangs, drugs, frivolous things, name brands, organizations that take all of your time, like NFL football, NFL basketball. I once heard someone recently say, "Are you not yet entertained?" It is all designed for while you are watching my left hand, I'm taking my right hand and steady smacking you upside the head while I take away your rights and your privileges that you have as natural rights and privileges in this earth. And so in this segment, I want to really hit home. I didn't become a racist when the white teacher went off on me. I didn't become a racist when the white boys spit on me. I didn't become a racist when I saw the young man get mad at the mixed relationships. I didn't become a racist when I saw Rodney King, and I'm definitely not going to become a racist because of Tyree Nichols. I chose to treat people how they treat me because, believe it or not, I've had black people lie on me or could have told the truth to keep someone from misunderstanding me, and they didn't. I've had black people spit on me and fight me and call me the same word that the white people called me that night under the bleachers. I've had black people want to fight me, want to cut me off, have road rage, talk about my mama, the same thing. I don't jump to black, white when I am dealing with issues and struggles or challenges that all of us face. I don't go to a building and because a person tell me, no, I can't have another ketchup, I don't go outside and say, that old white woman wouldn't give me a ketchup. How crazy does that sound? Until we begin to recognize that we are only puppets being moved by some strings. And one of the biggest things is division by design. I really want you to come back and I really want you to chime in, either in the comments or you can call 601-397-6752. You tapped and tuned into the Straight Report. We're talking about division by design tonight. And when we come back, we're going to share a little bit more about HB 1020, House Bill 1020, and we're going to get your perspective on how you think we can move forward. As we go to break, I want you to leave your comments. I want you to call in 601-397-6752. You're tapped in, you're locked in to the Straight Report. And tonight we're talking about division by design. See you when we get back.
Welcome to the JMMF's Culinary Kitchen in partnership with Footprint Farms, the Farmers Hands Markets, and funded in part by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, sponsored by Humana. I am Chef Shishi, the owner of Just in Time, the featured chef of the JMMF Culinary Kitchen, where we prepare farm-to-fork centered, healthier, all-natural foods in the urban community. Our menu includes salads made from collards, kale, and spring mix varieties, fresh vegetarian soups, and fresh juice elixirs made daily. We're open Tuesday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. And remember, what you put in your body is just as important as what you put on your body. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as I shared with you that I have every opportunity to become a racist, some of you may be like, well, you know, what about what they did to us over 400 years ago? I'm going to share with you guys something. There is a movie called The Truman Show. And in that Truman Show, he found out that everything that was being showed to him was propaganda, that he was actually being part of this big staged event. How do you know that all of these different things that we're being told, we don't even know where we're truly from? Some people say that black people were here originally. Some people say black people came over, I think they say 8 million came over on 3 ships. And you know, I don't know if whoever wrote these stories proofread. I don't know if they thought we was going to think later on, you know. And then you hear reports that America could be Egypt and all these different things. But what I want you to do is I want you to take a very good look at why you don't like white people if you're black, and if you don't like black people if you're white. I want you to ask yourself, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Because Jackson, Mississippi is going to hell in a handbasket, and all we can do is complain about white people, black people. And it's a division by design. It's a great game. Remember what I said to you in segment 1. I'm going to go back up to what I said. I said this to you. I said, I want to introduce you to the behind the scenes of the great game. That you're either playing in the game, meaning that you know that this is a game, and you kind of sit back and watch everybody fall over each other and clamor over each other, and you get your money where you see you can get your money. Or you watching the game, sitting back, just mesmerized. You're in a daze. You have a spell. You know, as they say, some people know, some people don't know, and some people don't care. You got to ask yourself, are you a pawn in this game? Is your vote being swayed because you actually believe that the Democrats and the Republicans are 2 different groups? Yeah, I'm going in tonight because I want you to understand that until we decide to work together and dismiss some of these items and some of these things, I need for you guys to understand that the biggest thing that we can utilize is mentorship. And as we go to this flyer that we have for Open House Vision, I want you guys to understand that I've been here for over a year. And when I came here, I tried to talk to your mayor. I tried to talk to some of your city councilmen, and some of them have talked back. I'm not going to go into who did and who didn't tonight, but a majority didn't have anything, didn't want to have anything, I say, to do with even a sit down and discussing some of the remedies that I do have. Again, you can call in at 601-397-6752. And as I began to sit down for about 3 months, I found myself going in circles. I found myself hearing certain names, and after I hear certain names, it would be like people were ghosts. I would never hear from them again. And so I realized that there was a game being played. It don't take me long to sing this song. And I realized that if I was going to be impactful in Jackson, Mississippi, that I was going to have to roll up my sleeves and do what I've done for over 30 plus years, and that was to create some programs. On this Saturday in Jackson, Mississippi, we have a 5-hour boot camp starting at 9 a.m. on the north side of Jackson. You need to text 601-826-1200, the number on this flyer. If you're interested, just say Salute Jackson. And watch this. Next weekend, we have one in Atlanta, because Atlanta is embracing the methods and strategies that Open House Vision uses. I just got off the road from Memphis, where I launched a 12-week program with Memphis Shelby County Sheriff's Department, and a youth program there, Brother Ike Griffin, and we're working together to help some young men in prison, in youth prison, before they get out. It's called Reentry Program. Some of the same things I wanted to offer to Jackson, Mississippi, but yet I found myself going in circles. I found myself being lied to. Watch this. Not just by black people, but by white people too. So I'm not going to say the white people are what's holding Jackson, Mississippi back. I'm going to say that it's greedy people that is holding Jackson, Mississippi back. Now, if we want to talk about mentorship, mentorship is you simply finding something that you love and including young people. So when we do this boot camp on Saturday, understand that when those kids come in, they're not going to leave the same way, because we purposely go toward their mental. We purposely show them. We have 4 signature programs that we do: the Salute Boot Camp Challenge, the Toolbox Trading Skills Camp, the Fishtails Camping and Fishing, and we also do the Hero Student Athlete Session, where we go around and share with the student athletes leadership qualities that they need to move forward in their student athlete careers. And so when I created this nonprofit, I found myself reaching out to a lot of men to approach the other young men that we needed to reach out to and bring in and work with. And I realized that some of the men need mentorship as well. So we are right now working on a huge men's conference for the city of Jackson, Mississippi. It will be Juneteenth weekend, and you continue to tap into the Straight Report and you will be able to get those details. Now, why did I share so much about all those things that I went through where it was quote unquote white people that did something to me? Why did I come back and tell you that black people did the same thing? Because I want you to think about your life. I want you to think about, where did you get that black-white thing from? Where did you get that, oh, these people on that side of the neighborhood? Do you realize today my mom and I was driving down Lakeland, and I was trying to pull over to get in a turning lane because she was telling me where to go. She don't like for me to drive with GPS. Y'all know how moms are. So I'm letting mom do mom, and she's like, you got to get over, baby. And I'm trying to get over, and this car is speeding. It's a red light. And this car is speeding, and this car doesn't want to let me get over before he gets on the other side of me and stop at the car that's like a car to 2 car lengths to the left of me. So I had to stop, and he's blowing, and he's speeding up to slow down on the other side of me. You know where that came from? That came from us growing up, getting upset because someone's bucking or cutting us in line. We all standing in the hall, but you mad because somebody comes stand in the hall and get in front of you to walk down the hall to the bathroom or to the lunchroom. You're walking to the same place, but you ready to fight. I'm talking about you crying, snotty nose, because somebody bucked you. You screaming, you yelling, you raising your hand, you trying to tell on, you're snitching, you're doing all that because somebody stood a length of a person in front of you because you want to be at the front of the line. But yet many of us go to church every Sunday to worship and pray to a God that told you the first shall be last and the last shall be first. We're going to have to make up our mind how we're going to love and how we're going to come together and change this city. I know that I'm talking about some very unpleasant truths, And I know I'm talking about some things that have been hidden. And I know I'm talking about some things like gatekeepers and all these different things and different organizations that are designed to keep the poor poor and the rich rich. But guess what? Sooner or later, the poor got to say enough is enough, because that's what this great division by design is about. It is designed to keep you in bondage. I want a spotlight on community tonight. And the spotlight on community is going to be none other than the minority for the Institute for the Advancement of Minority Health. They are doing so much in Jackson, Mississippi concerning health disparities, and they're doing so much more. Tobacco and smoke campaigns, they are doing free testing, research on different ailments among the minority population. And so I want you to check them out on Facebook, check them out on Instagram. Again, the Institute for the Advancement of Minority Health, they are doing more in the community. They have all type of programs, all type of support programs, and I want you to consider checking them out and seeing how they can either assist you or you can either assist them. I want to also give another shout out to all the other organizations out here that are doing their best to keep our young people out of the streets, to keep guns out their hands, to keep them out of gangs. I am not I'm not the end all be all. Open House Vision is not the only program. A shout out to Ronnie Crudup Jr. and Brother Charles over there, and Brother Mark, I believe, and Keith, the young men over there that are working at the Ark on Raymond Road. Shout out to Amos Ellis at the community over there at the Charity Event and Activity Center, Activity and Event Center. Shout out to Sister Stephanie. And of course, shout out to my beautiful, lovely wife, Lisa Foster, and all of the nonprofit 501c3 stuff that she's doing as well, not just here in Jackson, but as well as in Florida and Atlanta and South Carolina. There's so much that we're doing. And I'm going to say this to you now. If you know of an entrepreneur that is looking to get in the short-term rental space, Airbnb market, we have a contest right now to where we're going to provide them with all the tools and all the resources. Whoever wins this contest, we're going to get you started with your very first short-term rental space, Airbnb. We're going to walk you through all the steps. We're going to guide you all the way. That's our nonprofit give back for this year. We're going to give someone a business. We're going to help them get started. We're not going to continue to complain about the issues and the problems, but then try to complain and talk about the solutions. We're going to be the solution. We're going to be one family, stronger together, and we're going to figure out where is this great division by design coming from, and why should we continue to allow it to hold our city down. You're tapped and tuned in to the Straight Report.
Welcome to the JMMF's Culinary Kitchen in partnership with Footprint Farms, the Farmers Hands Markets, and funded in part by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, sponsored by Humana. I am Chef Shishi, the owner of Just in Time, the featured chef of the JMMF Culinary Kitchen, where we prepare farm-to-fork centered, healthier, all-natural foods in the urban community. Our menu includes salads, collards, kale, and spring mix varieties, fresh vegetarian soups, and fresh juice elixirs made daily. We're open Tuesday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. And remember, what you put in your body is just as important as what you put on your body. We look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, we're back. As we go into the final segment, I want to ask you guys some tough questions. When this HB 1020 bill passed, one of the things that stood out to me was that they said this. They said that the legislation would also expand the Capitol Police Force. meaning that the state, this is what they're doing. The state Supreme Court Chief Justice would appoint 2 judges, the Attorney General would appoint 2 prosecutors, the state public defender would appoint public defenders. They didn't say 2, but public defenders, I think I got caught up with doing the 2. And the Mississippi Public Safety Commissioner would have authority over the Capitol Police. That is, do we have a caller? 1 second. Put my headphones in. Hey, caller, you're on the air. You tapped and tuned into the Straight Report.
The question that I have is, for me, I've seen the outrage that's taken place across the country in regard to the legislation, but I haven't seen many locals talk about it at all. And for those of us who don't live in Jackson, what's going on there locally in regard to the legislation? Are people speaking up? Is there any sort of outrage? Is anyone talking about?
I think we got cut off, but I got your question. What's going on locally? Are the local people outraged? Well, there have been a couple of marches. There have been a couple of meeting on the steps of the Capitol and sharing our displeasure with this being somewhat snuck in and not being given prior knowledge that this was something that was happening. And so what I've seen is that, yes, locally we are upset, but I haven't seen any contingency plans. I haven't seen anyone come up with a better idea. Matter of fact, I had someone ask me, you know, when you look at what they're proposing, and if it works, is this something that they can duplicate throughout the city or throughout other cities? And what I told them was, you know, I don't know. You know, we'll have to see. And my biggest aha moment in all of this is that prior to a group of people getting together to get something passed, we couldn't get the same people that we want to feel should be working for us to get together. And I hate saying black, white, but it's true. We have a group of people here that truly love Jackson. Please don't get me wrong. I have not met everybody here in Jackson. So don't go back and say this man on YouTube and on Facebook talking about black people don't work together. Well, I've been here over a year and I've seen a lot of great division amongst not just blacks, but blacks, whites, and whoever else, you know, you want to label as a color, a crayon color. We the only people labeled as crayon colors, the blacks or the whites. And it's been ridiculous since the colored water fountains. It's been ridiculous. We are people. We all bleed blood. Our bodies are made up the same. Besides, of course, we have this thing called melanin, okay? And it's a factor. So to answer the caller's question, what is being done locally and why is it not such an uproar? And I'm going to say to you guys, and you guys call in and let me know if I'm wrong, or you put in the comments if I'm wrong. Is this truly Jim Crow? Or is this just a group of people that have gotten together and said enough is enough? Am I a proponent for them? I have not seen enough of this yet. I have not seen where this is going yet, because I can bet you my money, your money, my producers, well, my producers, I ain't touching his money, but I can bet your money, my money, and probably everyone watching this money that there's more to this story, that this is just the beginning of the rabbit hole. And if we continue to only come together when there's some type of, decoy of an enemy to fight, we will continue to get further down the totem pole and continue to lose focus. I have a joke of the day for tonight. And the joke of today is something that I kind of mentioned earlier. And we're going to go into this. I just want you to think about it, right? Hold on. I have one more quote. I cannot miss this quote concerning House Bill 1020. Somebody said the passage of the House Bill 1020 came in spite of some of the starkest possible opposition from the Jackson's mayor, its city council, and its representatives in the House, many of whom have said the bill reminded them of the darkest days of Mississippi's racist past. I think that some of our darkest days is that we can't figure out how to get our water fixed. Some of our darkest days, because the days that y'all are talking about have been put on repeat in your mind to hypnotize you and to make you think that all of these terrible, horrible things were so bad that you can never forget them. I'm going to tell you some horrible, bad things have been done to me. I'm going to tell you some horrible, just dumb, stupid things have been done to me, said to me. I've been lied on. I've been sabotaged. I've been all these different things. But I've learned that if I live in my past, I definitely can't enjoy my present, and I definitely can't move toward my future. So when we talk about the Straight Report, and we start talking about these things that some people don't want to talk about, I'm going to tell you that some of our darkest moments is when we have the same potholes in the same streets that I rode around as a college student around our city. If I can hit a pothole back in 1990, 91, 92, 93, before I left this city in 1996, and if I come back in 2022 and I'm still hitting the same pothole, is that black? Is that white? Or is that poor leadership? The reason we are greatly divided, Jackson, Mississippi, is because of leadership. And if we don't choose our next exhibition of leaders effectively and properly, this city may not be able to take what's coming down the road. It's not black or white. It's not. It is division by design, while the wealthy get wealthier and the poor stay poor, and those that have no clue continue to stay confused, angry, frustrated, and divided. The caller had a great question. What are the locals doing? We got all these people angry on social media. Angry, I'm talking about talking, spitting, going, and the eyes crossed, and the brow is frowning, and they, like, if you don't know what's going on in Mississippi. But yet, we spoke out. We've had a few marches. We stood on the Capitol steps. I think we had different organizations come to try to voice their displeasure. But if you're going to continue to talk about what's wrong, sooner or later, you got to start talking about what's right. And you got to start bringing some solutions. Because again, the division by design is meant to keep you discombobulated, confused, to where you're voting and you're moving and you're getting behind all the wrong people out of anger. You cannot move forward, Jackson, Mississippi, in your emotions. You cannot move forward, Jackson, Mississippi, in anger. You cannot move forward, Jackson, Mississippi, mad at somebody that cut in the line when you was in middle school, and now you don't want to bring them on your team because you became the new mayor or the new councilman. You cannot continue to operate because you like the girl that he married. You can't continue to operate that you used to date the dude that now she dating, and now you don't want to do business with her because you used to have a crush on him. You cannot operate in your emotions. Yeah, you tapped and tuned into the Straight Report, and I'm laying it straight tonight with no chaser. Until we get out of our feelings, Jackson, Mississippi, until we sit down at a table that is not just black, white, but also Hispanic, not just Christians, but also Muslims. Until we come together as one, this city is going to suffer from the great division that is by design. As you notice, I use that word by design. As we go off the air tonight, I want you to think about this. I'm going to leave you with this. When you use the word design, that means someone actually created what you see. A design. You designed that suit? You designed those shoes? You designed that t-shirt? Do you realize that what we're seeing has been calculated and designed, that this city would be next to nothing, so whoever it is can swoop in, buy up property, buy up land, and then work the value back up because you fell for what they call the okie doke. So tonight, as we went in and followed the yellow brick road, and we met the wizard, and we realized that there are men that are carefully, strategically creating a great division so this city can continue to go down the drain. What are you going to do about it? You've been tapped and tuned into the Straight Report. I'm your host, Bennie Foster. Do not suffer from the division by design.